I'll tell you who I think actually is the guy who could beat Jones. I think it's Curtis Blades, dude. I agree with a lot of
Come
people on
on.
Twitter that are
Come
saying this.
on.
Yeah, dude. Not
Nah,
because
man.
all right, guys, UFC 285, the GOAT returned. He took out Cyril Gane, heavyweight champion of the world. Again, a lot of people now think he's the GOAT. A lot of people feel like he cemented his place in MMA history as number one on Mount Rushmore. I'm joined by Sam again. We're going to break this pay-per-view down. It was a huge one. This was trending in a way that no pay-per-view ever in UFC history has ever trended, not even Conor versus Khabib. Like the buzz it
Mm.
was getting on social media, not necessarily the buys, but like the buzz it was getting was just, it was huge. So, back to the fight, man. Jon Jones, he took out Cyril Gane after a 3-year layoff. He's a heavyweight now. What are your thoughts on the fight? We'll start at the top as always.
It was an amazing fight, bro. Well, first of all, just good to be back here on the podcast as always. I love doing these things, man. And yeah, it was just sick, man. I mean, it takes a lot for me to get up in the UK at 3 o'clock in the morning, stay up till half 7. And this
I
was
don't know how
worth
you
it.
do that, man. I really don't know how you do that.
Mate, we're built different, man. Well, when you love UFC as much as I do, you've got to make sacrifices. And if
Yeah.
that sacrifice is your Monday, when you go back to doing your work and you're fucking absolutely just done in, but then you're sitting thinking, like, was it worth it? And just like the Saturday night watching Jon Jones come back. I mean, apart from like the card before that was just sick anyway, but like
Yeah.
to see Jones come back and do that,
Oh, man.
um, I you know, I knew he'd win. I mean, you never know really, but like, it's Jon Jones, but like people forget he's the best ever. And I think, yeah, he did cement the GOAT status. I mean, I know everyone, while it's just like the hangover from the weekend, people get excited to go, "Oh, he's the GOAT," but in my
Yeah.
mind, he's always been the GOAT.
Yeah.
Um, so, and just the way he done it, man, like, if we're going to talk about how the fight went, I didn't expect it to be as easy as it was. It was just complete domination. And to be honest with you, Marcus, I thought it was like I don't know why, but I thought it was just an easy tap. But when you go on the replay after that, like it was locked in. That just shows how good he is. And Cyril Gane looked like you seen a ghost. You seen that image where Jones is like, oh, he
Yeah.
looks like Cyril
Yeah.
Gane looks like he's seen an absolute ghost.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a ghost. That was just you just came up against the greatest of all time. He was heavier. Yeah, he's 35 now, but Jon Jones is he's always been built different, mate. And he came out there, and I'm surprised he got done so early. Took no damage, zero damage. He'll be ready to go again in 3 months.
He's fresh like a spring chicken,
Yeah.
he's good to go. He is good to go. I mean, a couple things, right? One thing that stands out is obviously what you said. There was a little confusion at the end, right? Even DC and Rogan were sort of going back and forth at it, like, oh, what, he tapped, really? Like nobody was really expecting
Mm,
that. It took to get the close-up shot of it, and you could see that Cyril Gane's
yeah.
it's under the chin, and Jon Jones just burying his head deeper and deeper into
Mm-hmm.
that forearm. And it was all she wrote at that point. I was not expecting it to be as easy. So I agree with you at that as well. I also don't think, oh, I also was expecting Jon Jones to win. I agree with you on that as well. I thought Jon was going to win like a decision, to be honest, but I thought he was going to do a lot of the stuff that he was doing, maybe not overwhelmingly dominate in the stand up from, the small portion we saw, which he really wasn't. It was kind of nip and tuck. Like Cyril's good at, Cyril, moved out of the way of a couple of his kicks. Like Cyril's very good on this. So I was interested in seeing how it was going to be, if it was going to be over the course of 5 rounds, how the stand up exchanges were going to be. But I knew that the difference was going to be Jon being able to take him down. Francis Ngannou takes you down in a fight like that. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Francis is scary, right? But nobody's going crazy about Francis's wrestling, right? And you let that happen to you. And I get it was like a plot twist because nobody thought that was going to happen. It even threw Cyril off. But man, I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
shocked. I'm not shocked. I thought it was going to be a decision. I thought Johns was going to do a lot of the same things as I was getting into a couple seconds ago. I thought John was going to do some of the same things that he did leading up to the finish. I thought he was going to do that over the course of 5 rounds and win.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, Jon Jones now, like he's, like I said, he's not getting any younger. And what he said now was like, I'm protecting brain cells. I'm just gonna go in there and wrestle people. And like I said, Surugan, he's an MMA fighter, and I've seen something interesting about what Khabib said. Like, I think Khabib says to a lot of people who don't really have a strong wrestling background, come to Dagestan, will train you, but and you know, like where Cyril's located, France. I mean, obviously, France and wrestling don't really go hand in hand. Like, even if he was an American, he like just saying that he'd probably have a bigger background in wrestling and things like that. But yeah, I thought Cyril Gahn would at least test him on the feet, but Jones just came out and you have to think. I don't know what Cyril Gahn's record is now,
He's
but he
got two
hasn't.
losses, so I know
He
that.
hasn't. How many fights has he had?
He's Cyril Gahn is like he's like 11-2 or 12-2,
Yeah,
something like that.
so that's like 13, 14 fights. I think Jon Jones has had that many title fights.
Yeah,
So maybe just like the moment as well. And you've got to think for Cyril Gahn coming up against the greatest of all time. And, you know, like thinking at first it was like a quick tap because I thought it was, but like, you know, maybe to the uneducated eye somewhat. But maybe Jon Jones just had that heavyweight squeeze, like he's been lifting weights. And listen, man, he's the greatest to do it. So,
absolutely. I
yeah,
don't
I
think there's
mean,
any debate at this point.
it was a shock because of the anticipation, just the excitement I had, and it was over in under 3 minutes. So you were kind of like, "What? Really? Like you've had 3 years off, and you've just finished the number one heavyweight in the world, just like that? Is that how we're doing it, Jon Jones? Like what are you made from? Really?
Yeah, the guy's
So
he's made of goatness or
yeah, yeah.
whatever goat's made of. That's what he's made of.
In that post fight interview, man, like the guy is off his head, man. Like the first thing he says after 3 LF, can I get a high yeah? Like what
Yeah,
was that
it's
about?
John. I don't know if you noticed, but John sometimes just will say random shit on the mic. Like at
Yeah,
press conferences, he'll just get the mic and the first thing he'll be like,
yeah.
"What's that?" Like
And
he does random stuff like that. But I
well,
guess that's just his personality. I guess.
I've always thought Jon Jones has got like the like duality of man, like because he's like, you know, let's be honest, he's a bad boy, but like when he first
Yeah,
came in
he'll say it
UFC,
himself.
yeah, he's always like, I just want to thank Jesus Christ, and then he's like bonging lines of fucking coke. Like I just see him as the perfect duality of man. Like I think he's a good man. No, I think he might be an evil man trying to be good or a good man
Did
trying
you
to
see
be
the
evil. I
video
don't
where they
know.
asked him that?
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
interesting. And he's a trick.
He said he's a bad guy trying to be a good guy, which makes sense. Like
Yeah,
he seems
that
like a
makes
troubled
sense. Yeah.
person who's trying to get his life together. I think that's accurate.
I respect that as well, you know. But he seems to like really like have matured and stuff, but like he's just got those eyes, killer eyes, and that's what makes the best fighter ever.
Yeah.
So
It's something, you look a lion in the eye, right? And it's like,
yeah,
whoa,
yeah,
even in
yeah,
a zoo,
yeah.
right? You got the glass there, but
Uh-huh.
you know damn well if this glass wasn't here,
Yeah,
I'd be
yeah,
screwed, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Someone unleashed Jon Jones on you, you're screwed. So that's
But
how it goes.
where does he go from here, bro? It looks like the Stipe fight is imminent,
Yeah,
and
that's
I
for
sit.
sure.
Does Stipe give him a harder time than Cyril? I mean,
I think so
but
because of the solely just based on the wrestling alone. I think he does. Stipe is a way better wrestler than Cyril Gahn. Stipe actually is
but
good wrestling.
yeah, but Francis, remember when? Yeah,
Yeah, but look what
when
he did against DC though. DC's a really good wrestler. Stipe got back to his feet
yeah.
all day in the second and third fights. I think, yeah,
Hmm.
all day pretty much. I
Yeah, yeah,
mean, I
yeah.
don't remember DC ever like overwhelming him. I think Stipe was able to get up, and I'm not saying he's gonna beat Jones because Jones took DC down, so there might be
Hmm.
levels to this that we don't know about. But Cyril got, but I do expect him to do far better than Cyril Gahn in terms of the wrestling. Even if he
Yeah,
loses, win or lose, he's gonna put up. Do you
yeah.
think Stipe Miocic is gonna lose in 2 minutes? I don't think so. I mean, would what?
We're talking
Gahn
about the
finished
good.
him, but
We're talking about the goat, yeah, though. You know,
yeah, I
like,
mean, it could happen. It could happen.
he's so good. But
Stipe's old too,
you know
right?
what? Like, Steve is old as
Older.
fuck, bro. Yeah, well, like I mean, everyone in the heavyweight division apart from Cyril Gahn is
Right. I
pretty
was
good.
gonna say that's why
Knocking,
it's not a huge
knocking.
deal to be like
Yeah,
41 as a
yeah,
heavyweight,
yeah,
right?
yeah. They last so long, don't they? Yeah. But
Yeah.
Stipe, I mean, it'll probably be a good fight. Yeah, I just see Jones is better than everyone. Um, I kind of feel bad for Cyril, you know, because he's such a good fighter, man. He seems like a good dude. I know.
Yeah.
Maybe like because that crowd was crazy, crazy pro America,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean. And like, I feel he might have felt that moment, but I feel like it was just all against Surugan, and that's what happened. Stipe might give him a better fight. Stipe is bigger. Um, obviously love to see it. I'm still bummed out about the whole Francis situation, to be honest. But you know that's gone.
100%. That was the
Francis,
fight.
he's never coming back.
I mean,
By the
Dana
looks of it,
said it, right?
Dana said a lot of things, but it
Right.
looks like Francis isn't coming back.
I
It
don't
looks
think
like
so.
there's some pretty sour negotiations. But I don't think they're revealing everything.
Dana's just done with him, bro. He's done. And he said he said a lot of things. He said a lot of things. It's true. I mean, Dana has said a lot of stuff, right? So you never
Yeah.
know. But yeah, I don't think that's.
I
So
don't know if
go ahead.
that's sorry to go on a tangent, but I don't know if Francis has maybe been like a bit of a prima donna or something like that.
I mean,
You
we
know,
don't know what
kind of
went on
like,
behind the scenes, right?
yeah, exactly. We don't know.
But Dana's
So
been saying Francis is like a prima donna for years. After he lost the first
he
Stipe
has, hasn't he?
Miocic
Yeah.
fight, he said in the press
Oh,
conference immediately after, he was like, "Oh, this guy is so I don't know something along the lines of I
I,
don't know
I,
exactly what he said, but
I remember what he said. He was saying something
full of himself, something
like
like
his
that."
ego. You know, he said his ego got to him.
Yeah, because he was training in Paris for or he was in Paris for a lot of the camp, or I don't know
Yeah.
what, but whatever. And there's a couple of things that are interesting now about the heavyweight division, right? I mean, I know what I have my answer, but I want to ask you, as far as a matchup, let's say besides Stipe, because we both tend to agree he'll beat Stipe. What's the toughest matchup for him in the heavyweight division? Do you think?
Tom Aspinall.
You think so?
No, no, I'm just saying that.
I mean,
You know me,
Aspinall
but
is good in the rest. I mean, we've seen Aspinall in the grappling do very well so far. I mean, we haven't really seen many speed bumps
well, Aspinall's just a beast. I mean, obviously he had that
everywhere.
unfortunate injury against
Curtis
Curtis
Blades,
Blades in the
yeah,
London, where that was a freak accident. And God knows if Tom Aspinall beat Curtis Blades decisively in that UFC London, he could have been the one fighting Jones. But who knows,
yo,
man? I
or it
mean, I'm
could have been
trying to
Curtis Blades.
could have been Curtis Blades as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But to be fair, I mean, right now probably Stipe, I'd say.
Okay.
Who? It's not going to be Ty Duvasa, is it? And
Definitely not.
definitely not. I mean, I'd still watch that fight. Ty against Jon Jones.
Sergey Pavlovic, he's like the guy no one even wants to bring up. No one even wants to bring him up.
I
That
was thinking
guy's
that. I was thinking that for a second, like, but I still need to see like one more from him
yeah. I made a video. You
because
could see it in my shorts where I'm comparing him and Francis. They have very similar rises and sort of the way
yeah,
their statistics play out of their
hmm
career and all. They're very similar. So, I think that guy's going to be a problem.
yeah. Well, like I said, I just need to see one more because it's different when he was against Ty.
Yeah.
Nobody really knew who he was, sort of. I mean, I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. You get in there with
Um,
Stipe or
eh,
Jones, it's going to be a whole
yeah,
different game.
yeah, and also I think there's a whole thing about once you've done that tie, people were like, oh, like that they're aware now. And once you're aware, maybe the hype's on him. Like if he does one more, then it's like right, this guy. I mean, I'm not denying it. Like I'm just saying for the casuals, like, well, look at him. I'm like, yeah, he's fucking to do that tie to Ivasa.
Yeah. He does it to
Hard,
everyone.
hard
That's just
as it,
crazy too. He does it
hard
to
as it could.
everybody.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, you're right. He's a fight away. He weighed in as the backup. I don't know if you knew that for this main event.
Sergey did.
Yeah. He
Did he?
he did,
I
yeah.
had no idea. What
It
the
maybe
fuck?
has slipped through the cracks a little, but yeah, he weighed in as a backup for
I
this
had no
fight.
idea. Yeah,
Yeah,
no
so
idea.
that dude's one fight away, or he might even be next if he's weighing in as a backup. I think he's a fight away though. I don't think. Yeah, oh yeah,
Yo,
Stipe's
listen,
next. Yeah, but I'll tell you who I think actually is the guy who could beat Jones. I think it's Curtis Blades, dude. I agree with a lot of
come
people on
on,
Twitter that are
come
saying this.
on.
Jones is better overall for sure. And then you look at Curtis Blades against other guys, but it's all about matchups in MMA. Jones, I think, runs through everyone at heavyweight. That's just my opinion. I really think he does run through everyone. Curtis Blades is a better wrestler than him. And Jones, his bread and butter, a lot of the times is in the stand up for sure. But it's the combination of both things that make him so good. How many times you see him like against Lyoto Machides, they will put him away in a submission. Like it's the combination of things that makes Jones great. But one of those things, I promise you, will get taken away against Curtis Blades. The wrestling is not going to be there. He's not going to be able to
Yeah.
just overwhelm him because Jones overwhelms everyone in the wrestling, bro. The stand up, yeah, that's another thing. And I think Jones wins because of that. But watch out for Curtis Blades, dude. Watch out.
I mean, I'll wait and see. I'll wait and see. He's got to get through Stipe first.
Yeah, I mean, the
Um,
guy lost to Francis a couple times and all that. But again, we'll see.
yeah.
Styles make fights. I would think Jones beats him. I'm not saying he loses, but yeah, I think Curtis Blades, dude, is a big dark horse. And I went off a little tangent of my own, but then again, Sergey Pavlovic is there too. So we'll
Yeah.
see what happens.
We'll just have to be fair, mate. It's exciting to be excited about the heavyweight division again.
Oh yeah,
Because for some
it's
reason I feel like it's been Well, I'm not surprised. Like they got rid of Francis. Like he has held it up for a while. No disrespect to the amount of injuries and stuff, but I don't know. It just hasn't been exciting for me for a while, the heavyweight division. And now with having Jones back,
We
I'm like
had
ready.
DC and Stipe. Remember, for a while they
The
did their
trilogy,
trilogy
yeah.
for like 3 years, and we knew who was going to fight every time for 3 years for the title.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, now we got Jon Jones, and I'd like to see him active again. But yeah,
I
looking
think he
forward to
will
the
be
heavyweight
active
division, bro.
again. I hope he is, but with Jon Jones, you never know, right?
You never know what's going to happen. You never know what happened at the after party.
Exactly. I don't think John is drinking anymore, thankfully, for now, right? But
Yeah, he's
last
got
thing I'll say,
plenty of time to do that when he's retired.
oh hell yeah. I
It's
mean,
a long time retired as an athlete.
absolutely. And yeah, we can go off on a whole podcast about Jon Jones. The guy's life is so interesting. Like it's movie material, his life,
Yeah.
the way it's just, it's played out.
There's a documentary. There's some creator on YouTube who's like very good. He does like you might have seen it on your recommended. I haven't watched it yet, but it's like the rise and fall of Jon Jones, and it looks. I watched like the first minute of it. Some creator. I'll link you to it after. Yeah.
I gotta watch that. Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I seen like the one of Cody Garbrandt, ones like
Hmm.
that. Well, he got the win too. I was happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm always happy to see Cody go back because like there's nothing worse than when someone will like fall from the graces. So what? But
yeah.
that's the sport, mate. That is just the sport. While we're on the subject as well, Darren Till leaving the UFC as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm not
don't
as
think you.
confident as him that he'll be back. It's just things change so much in 3 years.
I know,
You
but
think
mate,
he comes back or no? Like he
I don't
says?
know. You know, I was so like, I don't know, man. I was kind of like, good. Obviously, he was like my favorite fighter, like fucking 2 years ago, and you know, I still love him as a personality and stuff. But I don't know if he got cut because of the losses. Obviously, he says it wasn't that, but if you had 5 out of 6 wins instead, would you be
Didn't
leaving
he
the
ask to
UFC?
go though? Did he get cut? Are you sure? Didn't he like, wasn't it like a mutual thing
No,
or
that's what I'm saying. Like I'm saying, I don't know if it was him getting cut,
he did an
but
interview with Mike
but
Bond of MMA Junkie and he said that I think he said it was his choice.
yeah. But that's what I hear as well. But it's just sus when it's like you've lost 5 out of 6, and no, I mean that last fight against Duplessis, the first round was awful, but he ended up winning fight of the night, and Dana said he wouldn't get cut,
Right.
and then now he leaves, so
He said he would
must have been his
entertain other
choice.
stuff though, like BKFC, things like that. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he gets to fight Mike Perry finally.
Yeah, he's going on the Mike Perry route.
Yeah. So
Yeah, fuck it. Well, I hope he's back because he's still young, you know. He's only 28, 29, so who knows?
absolutely. That's going to be interesting. The heavyweight division is getting interesting, like you said. Let's move on to the next fight and one that I'm very excited to talk about. I got some stuff to say about this one. Valentina Shevchenko, number one pound for pound women's fighters in the UFC, I believe, lost to Alexa Grasso, lost her flyweight championship in a shocking defeat, obviously, in a fight that she was doing pretty well in. What do you think about that, man? It was a shocker for everyone.
It was a shocker. It was probably highlight of a night for me, to be honest with you. Like it
Oh
just
yeah,
it had shades of Juliana Pena against Amanda
absolutely.
Nunez,
That's the first
another
thing I think of too.
shades of it as well, and it just shows that in the sport. Well, that was the pound for pound flyweight and the pound for pound bantamweight. Just
Huge upsets, like
yeah, and
monumental upsets. Yeah,
and you know, I never thought anyone was going to beat Shevchenko. You know how I feel about that woman. She's an assassin. But
yeah, you do
listen,
like
man,
her.
this is this every time. I think we've covered like 3 more fights and I was gone, but I wasn't sad she lost because she's so humble in defeat. And listen, man, Alexa Grasso, I underestimated her fully, bro, fully. Just the way she took her back and everything, it was just like down to a T. She drilled it as well. She drilled all that, like good team behind her, and you know I'm excited for the rematch as well because Chef. I don't think we've seen Shevchenko like revenge. Like we speak how it's shades of Amanda Nunes against Juliana Pena. You know, if you remember, Amanda Nunes came back a totally different fighter. So I think that might happen again because I feel like when you're so dominant at the top, you start to think like, oh, it's just another you must do on some level think it's just another person coming in. You're gonna dismantle them, but Alexa, Viva la Mexico. We've got 3 Mexican champions now, all in the
Crazy.
space of like 3 months, if that. Yaya Rodriguez was UFC
That's
284.
right. Yeah.
That's
Wow, that's
interim.
insane. I didn't even think about the small window it happened in, dude.
Yeah, man. Like Brandon Moreno was like, I think it's this year, maybe
Yeah,
December.
recently, we
Yeah,
covered that recently. The
Moreno.
quadrilogy. That was like
Yeah,
two pay-per-views ago.
Moreno, and then Yaya Rodriguez, and then Alexa Grasso.
Yeah,
That's 3
incredible.
Mexican champions, just all like that. First, it was African champions out of Mexico. Anyway, I digress. But the fight was good. I just think, yeah, it's just a good scrap, man. And it's still when I think about it, I'm like, what? Shevchenko lost the belt. I never thought that she'd ever relinquish that title. But yeah, what do you think, bro? You enjoy it?
Oh, it was a hell of a fight. I mean, up to the finish, it was a back and forth great fight. I mean, obviously you could argue Valentina was doing slightly better for sure, but it was a back and forth fight. A couple things, right? I do agree with you in terms of it's similar to the Amanda Nunes Juliana thing, but then there's some things I don't agree about. And where I agree is I think if they have a rematch, Shevchenko could definitely win, right? Because she was doing good things in the fight. But man, I think where it's different is like Juliana Pena was not doing much at all against Amanda Nunes until she caught her in the choke. Um, Alexa Grasso was doing very well in a longer fight against Shevchenko before she caught her in the choke. I saw a lot more things. And it was shown because Juliana Pena in the next fight was just throwing these wild bolo punches and Amanda was pretty much toying with her that fight. That was like a 50-44 fight, right?
Yeah.
I don't think if they rematch, it's going to be 50-44 at all. Like I would probably favor Shevchenko, but I think Grasso can 100% win the rematch, and it wouldn't shock me if she was favorite. Dude, I just saw the fight. I saw the whole card. I watched it back like an hour ago. In the boxing, it was even. It was actually in the boxing, Grasso was better. She was landing more significant strikes. In just the overall stand-up, Shevchenko was staying in it because she was landing more. She was landing a lot of kicks. She was throwing a lot of kicks to the body, a lot of kicks to the calf. She was staying busy with the kicks, but in just the boxing, Grasso was lighting her up and was staying in the pocket with her confidently and landing and I think was doing better in the boxing. We go to round 2. Shevchenko completely flipped the switch and started the whole fight. She was going for takedowns. The whole fight. Her coaches she
Yeah.
decided upon her own will. Okay, I now need to make this a fight where I take her down because we know that Alexa Grasso's takedown defense hasn't been. It's still not that good. That's the thing. She's champ, but she needs to drill that because her takedown defense still ain't that good. Um, but dude, she was with her in the stand up. The fight got to the ground. She was able to survive it. But yeah, I mean, Shevchenko's changing game plan showed me how much she respected her. She respected her. She changed up the game plan. She started going for the takedowns. And dude, credit to Grasso. She overcame that. I'm gonna ask you something that I wanted to ask that I think is interesting. Do you think it was just that Shevchenko missed the kick, she got her back, and that's it? Or do you think it was the fact that we've seen Shevchenko sort of be on a level playing field now to her competition, right? The Tyler Santos fight was a close fight. This
Mm.
fight was a lot closer. Do you think it's that, or do you think it was just another fight Shevchenko was winning? She missed the kick. Grasso got her back and choked her. Like, what do you think it is?
That is a very interesting question, mate. Obviously we've seen the grappling holes and the Talia Santos fight, and obviously she got caught with a choke this time. So it would be easy to think that. I just think, but she's always been such a strong grappler. We forget in that fight with Alexa Grasso, I seen it. She almost had him in a
She
crucifix, and
was better. She's a
yeah, man,
better.
yeah,
She was
yeah,
wrestling her the whole fight.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
She just got caught, I think, and I think maybe there might be shades of that. She looked beatable in the Talia Santos thing, and in that fight, so that gave Alexis Grasso um like an opening, and she is beatable because she was the boogie woman, not even the boogie woman. She's just like the queen. So I don't know. I don't think Shevchenko's done. I really don't. I just think these things happen.
I mean, I thought she
Champions,
was winning the fight up until that point.
hey man, like we just need to think like champions are losing their belts left, right, and center these days. It wasn't too long ago, Usman and Edwards, like that thing. the pound for pound fighters are losing everything, man. Like
Yeah.
the sport's evolving, and it's just like such a level playing field for most part at that top level. It's just a game of inches, and I don't take anything away from Shevchenko. She got caught. She'll be back, I think. But Grasso, like I said, I underestimated her fully, and now she's like on everyone's radar. Like, I wonder how much her social media presence grew from that. Um, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you
It-
do something
it-
like that and you're gonna, you got the world's attention now.
yeah, and like I said, just there is a certain way. Like, I watched Izzy's reaction to like the fights and all that stuff, and he usually has a good breakdown. If you know how fights go, obviously, like
He has a great
is not
channel.
not just but freestyle bender is so good.
Really good.
But yeah, man, like Mexicans, like truthfully, it sounds like you're being stupid saying Mexicans and scrap and all that shit. But like truthfully, like they go forward and they're not afraid to get hit. It's a legit fighting style.
Yeah, it's a
And
thing,
Alexis
especially in boxing.
and Shevchenko didn't like that. She got caught early as well. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But
She
mate, I
did
think
not, dude. She did not like that in the first round. Those shots.
Ooh,
There was a moment where she got hurt bad by a right hand, or I don't know, it was a right or left hand. She got hurt bad. She was starting to not stumble, but she was taking some steps back. And I think even Rogan said it. She was hurt bad. And again, that's what I was emphasizing. She went into the next round, and the whole
yeah,
fight, it was like, all right, stand up, go for the takedown. Like, that's what she was doing the whole fight. So
exactly. Yeah, but
she
uh,
respects her for sure. You know.
well, she has to now.
Oh, she has to now. She's got her full attention now, right?
Oh yeah,
Her life is now everything she worked for now belongs to Alexa Grasso. So
yeah. So like I said, she'll be coming back, bro. Trust me on that.
okay. I mean, listen, she's a ninja, like you always say. So we
A
expect her to
spy, an
continue doing
assassin.
ninja things, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this next fight that I'm excited to talk about. Jeff Neal versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. What a savage that man is. You want to talk about a ninja? Man, that might be the next ninja of the men's, fighters in the UFC. So let's get into that one, man. Looks like you got a lot to say. What's up?
Yeah, I do. Man, I just like I say, this was about 4:30 in the morning, my time watching this. Was I tired watching that fight? No, I was like up just engrossed in it, man. Um, and Jeff, like, first of all, credit to Jeff Neal, because I expect that Shafkat to come into what he does to everybody. Jeff Neal was there like the OG he is, just fucking taking hits,
Oh yeah.
taking
Stock went
punishment,
up.
and coming back. Yeah, stock went up fully, man. Fight the night for sure. Um, but again, I think that was definitely Shafkat's highest test as well, and just dangerous. That finish is just. It was a creepy finish. I think creepy is the best way to describe it. Standing up
You
like
don't
that.
see it,
Woo, like
unusual.
yeah, he's just a dangerous talent. And I know this is like a very casual thing to say, but Hamzat against Shafkat, come on, man.
Oh
Like
man, that's a good fight.
that is a fight where that's a main event to me.
That's fun.
I, I love that fight.
Shavkat's gonna
Um,
have to do some work, win a couple fights, but yeah, I could see them.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I get that,
for
yeah.
sure.
But yeah, as far as that fight went, mate, it was just back and forth. Um, you always thought that Shafkat was gonna come out and like obviously get the better of the exchanges and everything like that. But Jeff Neal, like, just credit to him. I don't want to discredit any fighter. It was just like that's why it's the best sport in the world. I think I say this every podcast to do, but that was just one of those moments where I was just like, I fucking love this shit, man. And
What a fight it was, right?
what a
It
war,
was a
what
fight
a
that
war.
made you want to get out of your seat for sure.
It was, yeah, yeah. And is Shafkat ranked now? He is. He's
Yeah,
always been ranked.
he was ranked he was 9. Jeff Neal was 7.
All
So
right, yeah. So
probably gonna be
so
like 6 or 7 now.
Shafkat's up there now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He's in
he's
the
gonna be
game
up there
now.
with
He's in the mix.
Jorge. He's gonna be up there with Jorge and Gilbert and fucking fuck. Woo, baby.
Welterweight's fun too, man. That's a
Oh,
fun
welterweight's
division.
good, man.
Yeah. Definitely one of the better divisions. So
Mhm.
Shavkat, dude, one thing that stands out to me is just the creativity, bro, and the versatility. The way he just eats away at his body, goes up with the high kick to the head, just the way he switches it up. You know what's so crazy about him too is how active he is. Like no wasted energy. Everything that he does, every movement is for a purpose. Like, have you noticed? I mean, maybe you didn't because you know, if I didn't watch the fights again, I wouldn't have noticed things like this. I feel like a lot of times you got to watch stuff twice for it to really digest. But
Yeah.
every single time they clinched, Shavkat's throwing knees to the body. Every single time, knees to the body, knees to the body. And that just ate away at him, ate away at him, ate away at him, all the way till we get to the third round. And Shavkat lands that bomb of a shot to the jaw of Jeff Neal. But what did it was Neal was hurt up top, right? He's already woozing. He's against the octagon. And Rachmanov hits him with another fucking knee to the body. And then Neal, the face is now exposed and he's already hurt. He's already wobbly from his head. And now he has to grab the body. It's like the way this guy works is beautiful. He weakens, he softens up the body. He goes up top. Like, it's perfect. The he's a savage. Jeff Neal is also a savage.
Yeah.
Jeff Neal ate some shots in that fight. And you know who also ate shots? Shavkat. Dude, that guy has a chin. Jeff Neal landed some combinations that legitimately would have put down a lot of guys. And he just ate them, bro. Ate them. Savage. The amount of fights in that division you could have for him is just like you mentioned one of them, but I could think Masvidal. Imagine a stand-up fight like that. Burns. So many good fights for him.
Stephen Thompson.
Yeah.
And Shavkat.
Oh my God, that'd be a great chess match.
I just thought
that would be a chess match.
Yeah, and I can tell you just watch these fights again, bro. I think I need to watch that the highlights of that fight again, man. So good.
Incredible fight.
But yeah, there's so many matchups, and just like
when you watch the highlights, bro, just notice every single time they clinch, it's knees to the body, knees to the body. Just the way he works the body is insane.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, bro. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. Yeah, but that was like, I mean, such a good pay-per-view, man. Such a good pay-per-view. I mean, I say that obviously it was great seeing Grosso win the belt, but that fight before, I totally forgot about that until you just said, what a fight, man. And I'm just excited to see where it goes. Jeff Neal, how old's Jeff Neal? Is he old?
Let me see.
He must be like 34 or something like that.
Let's see. Funny, man, because you would think the UFC website would have fucking Jeff Neal's age.
No. You gotta go on Wiki, bro.
Oh yeah.
Like, well, either way, I'm just saying, like, does he have another run at like
Jeff Neal's 32? So, I mean, he's not that old at all. How old is Shavkat?
Oh man, he's like,
this dude's a savage.
Yeah, Kazakhstan, man.
28, dude. He's only going up.
Can I ask you this? Is there any way that Shavkat is not going to become the UFC champion? Is there any way?
I think there's a way. You know, there's a lot of in the UFC there can only be one champion in every weight class, right? So
yeah,
you know,
he's just so
realistically, you have to look at it like this, right? Who's going to be the champion down the line? Is Usman going to beat Edwards? If Usman is, you got to believe he'll probably hold the Usman. If he beats Edwards, Usman was close to retiring, bro, before he beat Edwards. You know that, right? He told Joe Rogan that it was going to be beat Edwards, do the Hamzat fight, and maybe Conor if he wants. If not, he's retiring. That was what Usman was going to. So Usman probably ain't going to be around much longer, maybe a couple more years. And Usman's like 35 already. So
yeah, and he's got fucked knees apparently. I mean, Joe Rogan talks about it on every podcast. So
yeah. All right, guys. So the next fight on the card, we got Mateusz Gamrot versus Jalen Turner. Very exciting fight in the lightweight division. A split decision victory for Mateusz Gamrot. What do you think of that fight, bro?
Yeah, to be honest, like this fucking fight absolutely messed my bet up completely because I got every fight, obviously apart from the co-main, right? Apart from this one, and I thought Jalen Turner was just too big. You piece him apart, but Gamrot, a little Polish pocket rocket, came out with the grappling and got the job done, really. But yeah, great fight all round. Wasn't the result I expected, but really shakes things up in the lightweight division now. I don't know where Gamrot's going to be after this, but yeah, man, he's definitely up there now, isn't he? I think he has to be in the top 6, 7 now. I'm sure.
He was like number 7.
He already was, yeah. So
let's see where he is now. UFC just updated the rankings today, so I got him right here. Tuesday's when they update the rankings. So right now, and because that's actually a good question. Oh, Gamrot's still at 7. He didn't move up because Jalen Turner's it was 10 versus 7, right? So I guess they just didn't. He didn't move.
Mhm.
And it was also like a late replacement fight. But man, I would think they at least move you up one spot for that. But whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. Sorry, when you asked me that question, I just put myself in the eye. It's like I'm fighting Jon Jones.
Yeah, right. Don't let him hear you say that though.
No, 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 no. Well, I'm behind the screen anyway, so I can say what I want.
Yeah, he can't poke you through this. Can he? You feel that? Oh, okay. So the fight, I was gonna say, Jalen Turner looked like Mr. Fantastic next to that guy, bro, with the long limbs, right? Like I thought he was gonna
Yeah,
wrap him around his body and just choke him out like that, like
yeah.
an anaconda. But but dude, I mean, he looked like he was twice his size in terms of like just length. It looked like he was literally twice the
Mate,
size.
he's 6'3" and he's a lightweight. Like,
Yeah.
what is that? That's the
The
size of
perfect
Izzy.
frame, according to Joe Rogan, multiple times during that fight, similar to Jones, the perfect frame for
Yeah,
MMA.
that's what he says. Yeah, yeah. No disrespect to Jon Jones, by the way. You know we're joking. I would never say anything like that to your face. We love you, John. You're the good. But yeah,
I didn't say it, John. So
yeah, it was me. Yeah. Well, you're closer at home. I'm in the UK. You know what I mean? What you're gonna get a jet? But
I don't even think
yeah,
Jones is there yet, to be honest. I don't know. Is Jones McGregor level? He might have to take like a first class flight here. So it'll take a little bit longer. I'll have more time to prepare if he were to come over here. But what were we talking about, man? Gamrot
I
versus
don't know, man.
Turner.
We're getting so silly right now.
We were talking about
Hey, we were talking
Gamrot
about a
versus
fight.
Turner.
We are talking about a fight. That's all I'm meant to
Mr.
talk about.
Fantastic versus Turner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what were you saying? I think you were saying something about that fight, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was just saying, like, it was just his grappling ended up getting he got it done. It wasn't the most handsome way to get it done. It wasn't the most entertaining, but he got the job done nevertheless. And then you looked at the rankings and he's still seventh, which I don't get. Maybe if he talked about the shit after or whatever, then he'd probably be up fifth or something like that. You know how this shit works.
Maybe.
It's only it's the journalists that do the rankings, isn't it?
Listen, he's a Polish
It's something
athlete. He's not
coming.
going to be outspoken. He's going to be respectful always. He's not, even
Yeah,
after the fight, he was like just all respect.
yeah. I mean, I was impressed you got it done on short notice and things like that. I really was. I don't know. I was kind of hoping I want to see Jalen Turner go up and stuff like that. But Gamrot got it done. That's what happened on the night. Great fight. Kind of overshadowed by what happened after. But yeah, good fight regardless, mate. What do you think of it?
It was a good fight. Obviously the game plan for Gamrot was to, sort of mix in some of that boxing, but look to effectively get the takedowns. Jalen Turner, every time the fight was was standing, it seemed like he was in a position of advantage. Obviously, he wanted the fight to stay there as well. If you look at just the fight in terms of how they rank MMA fights, how they score MMA fights, rather, Gamrot won. It was a split decision because Jalen Turner landed more of the damage for sure. More damage from Jalen Turner for sure. And that's the problem with MMA, with the MMA scoring, right? Is I'm not okay with a guy landing and hurting you bad in the stand-up, and then the guy gets on top of you and for 4 rounds and just doesn't really do much or doesn't do enough with it and doesn't net land nearly as much damage or have you nearly as hurt, and then he wins a round. I get that that's how it works, but there's something wrong about that to me. I think this whole thing needs to be reevaluated. That's why I had a big problem with Whitaker versus Yoel. I think it was 2, where Yoel
Mm-hmm.
landed way more damage and he
Yeah.
lost. But whatever, that's besides the point. It was still a close fight. Listen, Mateusz Gamrot is very good. The guy's like 22-2 or 23-2 now, whatever the case is. He's sharp. Jalen Turner took him, went tooth and nail with him, took him all the way down to the wire. So I don't think it's a fight where his stock drops
Yeah.
necessarily.
No,
So,
not at all.
good fight. 2 top 10 guys. We know it's probably the best division in the world if it's not bantamweight. So you expect this stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah, lightweight is so dangerous, man. Like just up the board, yeah. But where does Gamrot go from this, really?
He said he
I'm
wants
trying
a top 5 guy, which obviously I would think that's what he wants, right?
yeah, of course. Well, he
Well,
does
he
he
might
does
deserve it. Does he deserve it?
I
What do
th-
you think, bro? Does he deserve it?
I think he deserves to be in the top five. I mean, if you're 7 and you beat a guy like Jalen Taylor, why do you not move up anything?
Because you're
Not
taking a
one?
risk. Taking
You
a
don't
risk
move up
fighting a
one,
guy behind you.
not one piece. You don't move up one. What what's that about? So is work just uncredited? He gets paid and that's it. Like he deserves to be in the top five, I think. Like I say, it's just his namesake, I'd say. But yeah, let's see who we can get him up against. I mean, it, does Benil Dariush is against who?
Oh, man. It's a good thing you brought up Beneil Dariush, bro.
Who's he
Whew.
against?
I got some big news. What were you gonna say about Beneil Dariush before I break this? Well,
I
I
was
mean,
just
fans already
asking,
know, but you might not know. What
who's
about Beneil?
has this fight been called off?
The one with Charles.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I was leading into, bro. UFC is coming back to New Jersey. UFC 288. They
No,
just announced it an hour ago, 2 hours ago. It's back in the
really?
Prudential Center, 20 minutes from me, May something, May
I,
6th, May 8th, something like that. UFC 288 is coming back to New Jersey, baby.
no.
Coming back to New Jersey. And you
What
want to hear
date
a
is it?
funny story, bro?
What
The
date is it?
May 6th or May 8th.
Oh man, should I come to New Jersey in May?
Might as well, bro. Oh, if you come, we are going to that fight. I mean,
Fuck
I'm
yeah,
already
we are.
going to that fucking fight, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be
Oh
crazy.
man, is it 20 minutes from your house?
Newark's like, yeah, 20 tops.
Is Dariush from New Jersey? Where's he
No,
from?
oh God, no. I don't know where he fights out of. Not his nationality, right? Obviously,
Well,
he's not.
he's Iranian, but
Yeah,
you know.
okay, but I don't know. To be fair, I'm not sure. I don't think he does. Does he fight out of New Jersey? I don't know.
But it's just a weird place to put the fight.
That's why it's random, bro. I'll take it in the Prudential Center in fucking Newark, New Jersey, dirty Newark. But
Yeah.
what I was gonna say is, 2012 went to my first ever UFC event with my brother. I was a far younger kid at the time. I was obviously 11 years older, 11 years ago. But if you look at that card, I didn't even know what I was watching at the time. I didn't know the greatness I was watching because Tony Ferguson was on that card, Nate Diaz was on that card, and a couple other people were on that card. And I think that was in the Izod Center, if I'm not mistaken. That might have been in the Izod Center in East Rutherford, not in the Prudential Center, Newark. But nonetheless,
Yeah.
hey, I don't even think the Prudential Center was built yet. It might have not even been built since the last time UFC came to New Jersey, much less for a fucking pay-per-view. So that's why
Yeah.
I was interrupting you, bro.
Oh, man.
I wanted to break that for anyone that didn't know.
No, mate.
I'm excited.
No, good for you. You see, we are getting good karma from being good fans and talking about these fights because the UK has a pay-per-view. Like, it's not even UFC London anymore. Isn't the next pay-per-view in fucking London?
It
And
is.
we've got
How far is
Gaethje
that for you if you wanted to go to that?
3 hours away, but
Okay.
the tickets went like that.
Okay.
I booked a hotel, which was about £600 for one night,
Wow.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
So am I glad I didn't get tickets? No, I'm obviously like fuck. But at the same time, I've saved some money. But I'll just watch it
I'll
at home.
say,
But
yeah.
yeah,
These
but
tickets are
yeah,
pricey.
but I'm very happy that UFC's come back to New Jersey, bro. You'll enjoy that. And I'm gonna ask you all about this shit on my podcast as well when we finally get there.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, we'll do it next week or something. Anyway, I feel like we should talk about the last fight.
Yeah, let's get to that last fight, man. So we got Bo Nickel versus Jamie Pickett. First fight on the main card. Last fight we are breaking down. What do you think? It was a quick one. So what do you think?
It's what I expected, mate. Like Bo Nickel, like he's obviously NCAA champion, wrestling out of Penn State, all that shit. Um, I don't feel like I understand how good like wrestling is. You know, like I never went to a high school where there's wrestling and stuff. So maybe you can educate me on that, or like how seriously is like high school wrestling and all that shit.
Bro, it's literally the hardest sport to train. Like maybe football, you take hits and all that, so it might be up there, but nobody I've had wrestlers on the show and I've asked them, people that have like a wrestling base, like I specifically asked them, like, what is it about this stigma to wrestlers that they're just hard-nosed, hard-working guys that just grind, just how they grind you out in
Yeah,
the fights, they grind it out in the training. It's hard, bro. Dude, it's insane. It's one of the hardest
yeah,
sports by far, by far.
and
100%. The coaches
and
whip your
yeah.
ass in practice.
Mm-hmm. No, that's interesting, but Bunick, I mean, obviously we expected like a quick one. There's been some controversy about how if he hit him in the nuts before that, but let's be honest, mate.
To
If
be fair, I think I missed that again. When did that nut shot happen? Was that
just
early in the fight?
just before
Well,
the
the fight ended
takedown,
early, but
yeah, just before the takedown, he kneed him. It looked like it hit the inside of the thigh, but I think Jamie Pickett went like
if I had known
it hit him in
beforehand,
the
if I had
nuts.
been reminded of the knee, I probably would have seen it. But to be fair, it didn't stand out enough to where I saw it twice and didn't notice.
I think I
So
seen it. I think I seen it, But usually when that happens, they'll go like that or
I
something like
probably
that
just missed
to
it.
tell the ref,
Yeah.
and that didn't happen. And
That's
maybe
probably
that's
why I
on you.
missed it. Yeah.
So you can't get beat and not call it. And
Right.
okay,
If you're
well,
not okay, so he didn't
the
even
thing is,
call for it or anything. I didn't. Right. That's why I didn't
yeah,
see it, I guess. If you're not even calling for it, then how's a ref gonna know, bro?
yeah, exactly,
I mean,
yeah,
maybe he's busy with the takedown, but maybe he gets taken down afterwards. Was maybe when he was on the ground, was he saying, "Hey, he
yeah.
just, he just nut shotted me, whatever." But oh,
But
pause.
like,
He hit me in the nuts.
yeah, nut shot, but like I said, regardless, mate, even if that nut shot happened or not, um, the result would still be the same, I think. And Bo Nickel, but like I said, I've seen a very interesting video of Henry Cejudo. Cejudo went, listen, Bo, I hope you're watching this, bro. I seen you struggle on that takedown. MMA takedowns are different to wrestling. Take your time. Have another 6 fights before you go into top 10 guys because it's different. And to be fair, I've watched 2 interviews of Bo Nickel on Ariel Helwani's show, who your biggest fan, no, sorry, your biggest idol. I know you love Ariel Helwani so much.
I love him.
Yeah, you too. But I've
I
seen
mean, he's
two
definitely
interviews.
good at his job, but yeah.
Yeah, and I know you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Um, but Bo Nickel, like he's kind of like it's good to be confident. I know you're NCAA champion. You've performed in front of arenas in wrestling, but he genuinely thinks he's gonna steamroll his way up to Adesanya and Pereira. And he said that the grappling was laughable in the last Adesanya and Pereira fight. And this guy is
Well,
4
yeah, but
0.
the striking wasn't. So what are you gonna do about that?
Did you see the kick that Bo Nickel done when he
Well,
first came
Jesus,
out?
I just saw the fight and I feel like I missed out. You talking about the flying thing he did?
It wasn't the flying thing. He went for a high kick and slipped.
Jesus, it's like I didn't just watch the fight an hour ago, for Christ's sake.
It
Jesus.
was the first thing he done. Then he got back up.
Okay, that's
But
what it was. Yeah, like right when the fight started, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And I was like, what?
I knew something
But
happened right when the
no,
fight
but
started. I
fair
was
enough.
shocked.
I mean, he opened the pay per view. It's questionable, even if he should have even opened the pay per view. We had Derek Brunson versus Dricus Duplessis,
Great fight.
and that was on the prelims. Cody Garbrandt was in the prelims, and I
Yeah.
feel like the UFC are like, Bo Nickel, here you are, shoving it down your throat. Here's Bo Nickel like that, and then yeah, he gets the job done. But yeah, impressive. But anyway, I digress. I think the way that he's going on, how he can just be going and beat Adesanya and Pereira, I'm like, come on. It's a
Yeah.
different game. It's a different game altogether. Yeah, you could grapple the shit out of them, but if all fights start standing up, you got to get through that first, bro.
Exactly. That's it with a lot of these guys, right? No matter how good you're wrestling or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case.
Yeah,
Starts on the feet. You gotta be good everywhere.
yeah. It's mixed martial arts, bro. At the end of the day, isn't it? But what do you think of the fight?
I mean, I'm shocked that the guy's UFC debut was one on a pay-per-view. Maybe throw him on the prelims, sure, but he's on the main card of a pay-per-view for
Which you
his
have to give
first fight.
you've got to give him credit for that as well. You
Yeah,
really
yeah.
do.
I
Yeah,
mean,
like
people know he's the real deal, you know?
he
Got to
is
give
the
him
real
credit for
deal.
that.
It sounds like I'm hating on the guy, but I'm not. Like I'm
Hater.
a big fan. I'm a fucking hater, dude. No,
What's
no,
wrong with you
I
hating on him, bro? Come on, Bo. I got your back.
yeah, yeah. Well, fucking, it's just these wrestlers, you know.
Oh, yeah, but we know he's good. Yeah. I mean, I think we all know he's very good.
Yeah, I'm missing Izzy Dick Ryder. You know what I mean? He's saying that he's gonna go in there and beat Izzy straight away. Come on, bro.
I mean, listen, obviously not now. He's got to build himself up, but down the line, if he's even around, and even Pereira for that matter, given his age, if this guy's there, could he beat them? Maybe. I mean, well, obviously we know that the one thing he has going for him is if you want to have one strength in MMA, the best strength to have is by far wrestling. And
100%.
Joe Rogan said it last night. I forgot what fight it was in. I don't remember what fight it was in, but he said it was a guy that was wrestling was winning his fight, and he said this is why wrestling is always going to be the most important tool to have. If you're a
Yeah,
good wrestler, man, the sky's the limit for you.
no, that's facts.
Yeah, I mean the kid competing on the main card is just it's shocking, but that just
No,
goes to
good for
show
him,
who
bro.
he is, though. Yeah, I'm not hating on it, absolutely not.
Nah, like, I think he could be champ. We'll just see what happens, man.
He can
Like,
definitely be
there's been a
champion,
lot of
bro.
there's been a lot of good wrestlers, yeah. But we'll just see, mate. Like, I hope, like, I hope he's active. We'll see what happens. But this
I'll tell you
UFC was sick,
something though.
man.
It was sick, but I'll tell you one last thing before we wrap this up that I wanted to say about Bo. And you know what he kind of reminds me of in just in this regard. Just in this regard. It's like every time a Bo Nickel fight starts, it's like there's a ticking time bomb on when it's gonna end. You feel like it's gonna end
Hamza.
very quick. Every time I watch him, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be quick. This is gonna be quick. Come on. I'm more so thinking about how the guy is gonna survive rather than how the fight's actually gonna go.
Yeah,
And you know who
yeah,
I also get that from? Hamzat. That's a one thing that they have in common, these two guys, and they might fight one day. That's why I'm saying this. These guys, every single time that they fight, I fear for their opponent. Bo, even Bo, bro, the
yeah,
competition he's fighting, Bo is that good. Don't be mistaken. I'm not saying he's Hamza, but for where he is right now, in his place, he's the best of the best. And
yeah,
man, it's like a ticking time bomb every time these two guys fight. That's why the Gilbert Burns fight was so shocking for everybody against Hamza, because they're like, oh my
yeah,
God, this guy actually went the distance and didn't get his ass beat.
yeah. But we said that last time. Gilbert Burns is fucking so good, so good.
He's fighting
But yeah, no,
Masvidal, bro, in Miami. UFC comes back to Miami for the first time.
can't wait, bro. Is
Hell
that our
yeah.
next pay per view? Oh no, we've
I
got
don't
the
know.
London one first.
Yeah, it's up there. It's coming up. But listen,
Yeah, man.
like you were just saying, it was a fun pay-per-view, right? We had the
The
stars
best.
come out, Jake Gyllenhaal, Conor McGregor was out, the GOAT was fighting, right? It was fun.
So good, mate. So good. Loved it. Loved every second of it.
And the prelims were good, right? The prelims were loaded. There was great fights in the
Hmm.
prelims. Listen, top to bottom, it was a good card. When I look at it, was the main card, the 5 fights on the main card, like oh my god, how loaded the main? No, but it was so beautifully like stretched out. Like you enjoyed Ian Gary, who might have to put our foot in our mouth soon, but Ian Gary, who showed out in the early prelims, that's a fight you didn't want to miss. On the prelims you had Cody, you had the fight you brought up, Duplessis Brunson. So
Yeah.
all around this card, from top, it was a one where you can watch the whole thing and you could have fun.